don't understand. Help me with this. You spend all this time preparing, planning, and making almost a fail-proof sort of way of people thinking when they describe you, it's going to be completely wrong.
Yeah.
You then leave the disguises in a car for weeks.
Huh? Crazy.
That doesn't make any sense.
Crazy, right? Okay, so now... Robbie, this is a new book, Universe, I Trust You, by Roberta Mussato. I'm going to find out whether it's Robbie or Roby. Had a string of negative events. She was single, had navigated an unsuccessful fertility journey and found out her friend had an addiction problem. Wow. And her emotional batteries had been running on empty for far too long. So she decided to head off backpacking with absolutely no plans whatsoever. Her great travel experiment culminated in an inspiring book, Universe, I Trust You, a month in Sri Lanka. And now Robbie joins us. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Roberta, is it Robbie or Roby? How do you like to be addressed?
Robbie.
You're
Robbie.
Okay, Robbie, This story is just brilliant. I was reading what led you to take this journey in the first place. Talk to us a little bit about what led to that trip.
Yeah, basically back in 2017, I was having a very, very generalized crisis in all areas of my life.
Yeah.
I was living in the gap of, when you think that you're going to have a certain kind of life, because I've always seen myself married with 3 children, with an amazing husband. And instead, in my late 30s, I had found myself single for 8 years, having one dating disaster after another.
Yeah.
So I decided to embark on a fertility journey on my own, alone, which was not successful. And I think that was probably the lowest point of all my situation. And then on top of that, I discovered that my best friend had developed an addiction without me realizing it. Yeah. And at the same time, job-wise, I liked what I was doing. I was an interpreter, subtitler, voiceover artist, but I felt called to do something else. I wasn't just able to pinpoint exactly what. Yeah. And on top of this, yes, you think, okay, I don't have a partner. At least I've got my friends who perfectly understand me, but I didn't understand. I didn't feel particularly understood. Yeah. And so all things together were just too much. So I decided to take my backpack and remove myself physically from London and all its problems. And I went backpacking for 3 months alone, 1 month in Sri Lanka, 1 month in India, and 1 month in Nepal.
And why did you choose those countries?
Well, because I've always been in love with India, and so I wanted to go back there. And at the same time, I also wanted to see 2 new countries, because otherwise it's always India. And something like 30 years ago, a friend of mine had told me that Sri Lanka was a very underestimated, beautiful country. And so I thought, okay, let's go to Sri Lanka. And then Nepal, it's actually the reason why I decided to leave, because I felt I needed to meet someone who could inspire me. Yeah. And searching online, I had stumbled upon this American lady called Maggie Doyne, who had set up a school and an orphanage in Nepal. And she was the adoptive mother of 63 Nepali orphans. Wow. And so I thought, I need to go and meet a woman like her. Someone that can really inspire me, who's playful in. Because I felt that, in my life there was just, the spark was missing. And so I decided to go to Nepal to meet her, and I bought the ticket, in all my, also almost arrogance to think that if I wanted to help someone, they would be ready to meet me. Or that if I wanted to go and volunteer. Right? Yeah. That I wanted to go and give my precious help. And they answered that, no, it's not possible to go and volunteer for just 1 week or 2 weeks, because otherwise you would, the children would constantly feel the abandonment of having people who go and who leave. Yeah. And so right from the beginning, the trip started in, let's say, under the star of, let's see what happens. Because that's the experiment that I wanted to make. I reasoned that if all my pain was coming from unmet expectation of how my life was going to be, and instead of how it turned out, then let me see how life can be when you have no attachment to how things would show up. And you just embrace everything as if it is the best possible way things could happen. And so Universe, I Trust You, which is the title of the book, became my mantra for 3 months. I was like, yeah, universe, I trust you. Show me who I have to meet. Put me in the situations. Give me messages. I'm going to be open to whatever.
And so that you had that openness. That was your
Yes.
mantra. What happened?
What did you learn?
What did you learn?
Yeah, well, I came back with the unshakable belief that the universe is always conspiring to your favor. Even if you don't see it in the moment, it's, if you just live in trust, things are gonna take care of themselves. So that's like the biggest spiritual message I came home with. Also, personally, when I left, one of my patterns I realized was that of being a people pleaser, the rescuer, the fixer. Especially in the friendship with my best friend for 2 years, I had played the rescuer, trying to help him with the addiction problem that he had developed. And so when you go away and for 3 months, you just ask yourself, what do you want to do? And how can you give it to yourself rather than always thinking, oh, how can I help others?
Yes.
That for me really changed the way I approach people nowadays and how I can more save my energies.
Yeah. Yes, sorry, go on. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, no. And then, the lessons are really many. And another one, for example, is realizing how intrinsically abundant the universe is.
Yeah.
Because especially Sri Lanka, it's such a beautiful country, so lush and green. It's almost like a tropical paradise. And so when you see all this abundance of light, of animals, I wasn't expecting to meet so many animals, from elephants to blue whales to turtles. So you really come back and say, we live in such a scarcity mindset, but in fact, the world, the universe is just there ready to give you if you only focus on the beauty.
Yeah, and in the silence as well, finding silence, I imagine. How has this changed your life? Obviously, you've learnt those things, which I think they sound so precious. But what difference is it? And you've come back to London, presumably, or what difference? Obviously, you've written a book, so we know that.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
What difference? What are the outworkings
On
of
a
that
day-to-day?
learning? Yeah.
Yeah, what's interesting is that when I was flying to Colombo, I was on the plane and I visualized myself as one of those cluttered garage where there are all these boxes with spider webs and a lot of dust.
Yeah, that's my entire house.
And when I came back, so I was flying back from Kathmandu, I look inside myself and I visualized this field with so much sunlight and a few trees just at the borders of this image. So there was so much light and so much space. And in Nepal, I discovered meditation. I did a 10 silent days Vipassana meditation retreat,
Lovely.
which was a mind-blowing experience, by the way. And on day 8, I had a vision, like the first vision of my life, because I saw NLP written on a wall. And I didn't know what NLP was. I was there meditating and I thought, National Liberation Party. I'm like, what is this? And so when on day 10, they gave me the mobile back and I could choose. I could check what NLP was. I discovered it's neuro-linguistic programming, which made total sense as my next career move because I've always studied languages and I've always been interested in psychology.
It's very, very big in business, NLP, isn't it? That whole training.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
so it's neurolistic. It's just
Neurolinguistic.
Neurolinguistic, yeah. And so when I came back to London, I thought, okay, let me get informed about this NLP. And that's when I stumbled upon life coaching. And 2 hours after I was there listening to this speaker introducing us to life coaching, I thought, this is it. This is the cause that I've been feeling and that I wasn't able to pinpoint clearly.
So, Robbie, you spent a month changing, or 3 months changing your life, and now you teach people about changing their own. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't like to use the verb to teach. I prefer to say support or facilitate because, But yes, let's say that I support people in changing, especially those who, like me, have been living in the gap, mourning a life that they don't have, or being stuck out of fear, out of lack of clarity, out of lack of courage. And so I help them getting clarity, understanding that there is so much more they can do. Because now I'm living in the positive gap. I'm living a life that I would have never thought. Published 2 books. I'm a master coach and NLP practitioner. I'm interviewed on Radio London. So all things that I would have never contemplated in my initial vision.
Yeah.
And so it's absolutely possible to improve your life and get better.
So the book is called Universe, I Trust You, 1 Month in Sri Lanka by Roberta Mussato. Thank you so much for chatting to us this morning,
Thank
Robbie.
you.
It's been lovely
It's a pleasure.
chatting to
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye now.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
And
Bye.
you. Bye. Oh, I love the way that travel changes us. Did we just talk about that earlier? If you have the chance to travel with Clara Hermit,
absolutely. When we were
if you
speaking to
get the
Clara.
chance to travel, it does change the way your outlook, doesn't it?
It does.
In one way or another. I absolutely love that. Now, just to recap on our shouts this